Hello and welcome. Paint, Play, and Parlay, Triple P, your source for everything miniatures on the painting table. Playing games on the tabletop and PC, and plenty of parlay between myself, the Game Master, MrNick, and my partner, Lee. Lee, how are you doing this fine Texas morning?
It's a nice, cool morning. My wife is a little sick still, so we're gonna go check that out later. But doing pretty well. Had a good stream last night. Did the Sister of Battle, finished her up, and started doing the Chaos Cultist. What are we working on today, Mr. Nick?
Today we are switching games and we are going to be painting I Am Iron Man from Atomic Games, Marvel Crisis Protocol. This will be the first miniature that I've done and we've done for this game. First off, I'd like to give a shout out to Mike Meeple, MikeMeepleBlogspot.com, for his assistance in picking out some paints. I'm going to slightly deviate from his guide, but basically using the same painting scheme that he's had and some tips from him. And I'll be using the wonderful Atomic Mass Games site to assist me in getting all of the particular details sorted out from their great 360 viewer that's available on their website. First thing is we're going to do pretty much most of them except for a few parts. And our first color is the first time we're going to be using this. I'm going to try this. This is a Vallejo Mecha color in red. This is their Gundam focused line. And I'm using that as the primary base color for the metal on him. I'm going to use a pretty big brush. We're using Monument Hobbies brush again, and we are using the #1. Painting in my usual cheapo wet palette here. As per the suggestion with this metallic color from them, we will not be thinning this hardly at all.
So, what makes this paint different than other paints?
It's pretty much a paint that's kind of developed, from what I understand, for them to be for the robots, Japanese robot types, and to give you the kind of metal colors that's very typical in that anime style. And Iron Man is kind of an anime character. Really, when you think about it, actually, some of the comics have been adapted to actual manga, and he's quite popular, as I understand, in Japan.
Yeah, I mean,
robot dude.
they like their big mech suits out there. I mean, they have Astro Boy, and they have a, what is it, 15-story tall Gundam they have now at the Hello Kitty or wherever it was.
Ah, yes, one of my baby sister's favorites, Hello Kitty. Okay, so the main things I was trying to avoid is the face, the arc reactor, some of the small joint pieces, kneecaps, and some stuff on the backside. But otherwise, I'm going to try to basically coat the entire model in this. And if there's a little bit of overpainting on this for the first coat, it's probably not going to be from the top down. This is the first time working with this paint, so I'm gonna kind of slow and gentle and get kind of a feel for it.
How is it so far? Just out the pot? Is it pretty watery or?
It's I would call it in between what would be the best metallic paints, which we'll be using in a moment from Acryl. Find them to be they seem fairly watery, but they go on great. And that would be contrasted with your Army painter. We're going to use that a little bit, which is probably the thickest. The regular metal paints from Vallejo are kind of in between, so this seems to be just a little bit thinner than the Pro Acryls, but not as thick as any of the model colors, other metallic colors.
Okay. So I know that you've had those boomsticks for about almost a year, exactly a year now. How do you like them so far?
The Pro Acryl?
The paintbrush.
Oh, these have been holding up great. This is usually I use a cheaper brush when doing metals, but for this I'm going to see how these brushes hold up for these metals, because usually I find a lot of times the thicker and especially metal paints that use actual fleckings to be fairly harsh on the brushes, so I usually don't like to use the best brushes for them, but this seems pretty good, so I figured might as well give it a shot and see how it turns out.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying those Monument Hobby sables they just released. Those are out of Phoenix, right?
Phoenix or Tempe, I can't ever remember. I mean, you got a 50-50 shot of that, or I guess that, and somewhere in the desert if you're Arizona.
I lived in Arizona for a year. It's either Phoenix or Tempe. That's nothing else. There's other cities, but not many people know.
Flagstaff's basically what, a suburb.
And what are we using to clean your brush today?
We got just some water and either my skin or top. Stuff right here. Usually I just paper towel for myself. And I've already got red portion here.
Nice. That is
gotta get a little dirty to start.
It's pretty vibrant though.
Yeah, it's looking like a great color. Good pop on him. I'm trying to avoid the face. Little crease here. Owl, neck.
I did notice they're really clean sculpts on these guys.
Yeah, I noticed the assembly. There's a couple little bits assembling. His hand, the shoulder was just slightly tricky, but not too bad. And otherwise, the assembly went really well for this scale of model. And priming them, the plastic took to the Vallejo gray primer from the airbrush quite well. Let's see. This part will avoid, so I'm going to kind of outline it.
Now, what technique are you going to be using on this? Because I was watching some other people do them as well, and I was reading, and some people put the base colors on, then spray matte medium over it, and then they wash it in black, and then they go in with the highlights or the glazing or gloss colors. Are you go gloss or matte?
I think for this, I should probably matte him down, depending on how I feel the metals turn out once they're done and dry. Eventually, I think I'm just going to use mostly a red tone wash on him, and then the non-red metal parts using a light tone, both from Army Painter.
Okay.
So far the flow is pretty good. I'm trying not to get it too wet on the palette here.
Seems like it's pretty opaque and it's got nice coverage.
Yeah, it's really getting into the recesses very well.
Does it flow pretty well off the brush?
Yeah, it feels really good on the brush here. Not too worried about too much overpainting from it. Down the arm, we're going to avoid the joint right here. Onto the arm. A little bit. Kind of disappointed that I don't think we're ever going to get another Iron Man movie. Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Probably have some update.
Kind of messed up on that.
War Machine's good, but can't really beat Downey Jr. for really launching the Marvel MCU. His force of crazy personality. Take all that rehab energy and put it into a character. So we're going to try to avoid the repulsor bit here.
It's looking good.
Approach here. Arc reactor on the chest.
How's the drying time on that?
The head seems to be getting pretty dry already. Color spots. Here. Avoid the face. His chin dimple. Rest will be clear gold. in the crease of his armor here.
What scale is he?
I think this is a 28 base. If I remember correctly. They seem a little small for the base size to me. Seem like in between a regular and a Primaris Marine, but they're on what would be Primaris bases. Size, and it's got just a slightly textured base rather than just your flat black. Be able to match the city street or whatever typical terrain for the Marvel. I was actually looking for what the size of the mats for the actual game were. They're played typically on a 3x3 square mat. It was fairly small, but it's a skirmish level game as I understand it. It's actually probably decent size. I'm just going to avoid this bit, so side here. I'd say the primer's drinking this up pretty good, so he might need a bit of a second coat to it. This paint has pretty good flow to it.
It's yeah, it's seems like it's very vibrant.
You can see here the back drying, and it's got a pretty good sheen to it.
So it's pretty shiny then?
Yeah, it's not your typical super metal-y metal, but it's definitely got a metalness to it, which Iron Man, while in a metal suit, is not shiny metal. It's got more of a muted tone to it for the most part. I'm gonna try to avoid up here around the leg and just do this interior portion. I usually try to outline spots so I want to avoid and fill in around them. shoulder, an arm. We're into the crease here. You ever read either of the? Well, I'm only familiar with a few Armor Wars. I'm sure there's probably more. First was probably the seminal Armor Iron Man's Armor War.
Yeah, I like the Iron Man suits. They're really pretty cool looking.
Early '80s. Yeah, they had a lot of villains stealing his suits. Technology.
Yeah, I figure a billionaire like Tony Stark would have a pretty better, security system than that. They keep taking his stuff. My favorite is War Machine.
Yeah, I like the original War Machine. Hulkbuster armor. Fight big robot guy versus Hulk.
Looks like it's covering pretty well though. Some really nice, pretty color.
Very good color choice in the guide here for getting everything.
I think if you were to put that in a Citadel color, I think it would be like a Wild Rider red, what it looks like.
Yeah, I think you get enough metallicness out of that.
Well, is this a metallic paint?
Yeah, it's really light in the metal. I don't think it's a natural metal. I think it's metal coloring, but yeah, got a kind of matted metal.
Not so long ago I was experimenting with Vallejo metal medium and adding contrast paints to them, and it comes out pretty dang good. I did some Alpha Legion with Acryl green and metal medium. It was pretty dang good. Ultimately it comes down to how you feel about the miniature, If you're comfortable with those colors and
Technical difficulties. Didn't press all of the buttons for the stream. Now I should have the right title. Great. People are wondering, hey, this is not a Sister of Battle.
I mean, Technically, it's the same colors. I was talking to our local hobby shop over here in Kyle, Texas, Lionheart Hobbies, and I was asking him about getting P3 or Monument Hobbies paints in there, because I guess Tamiya having a problem with supplying the U.S. right now.
Yeah, I got some of their. I use their texture snow for my Tyranids, and it took weeks for a bottle to come in.
I guess they won't have things in for vendor stock. Well, April.
Yeah, the price ratio for the technical paints you just can't beat.
Have you tried the AK Interactive ones?
No, I haven't tried those.
The only ones I've seen were like mud and something else. But I know they have streaking grime that's pretty cool. I want to try one time. You put it on your model and you wipe it off, and it sticks to things and it kind of streaks like, you know, rust, or like it's been rained on and the rust is like running down the metal.
Oh, cool. That's a nice effect.
They actually have effects pencils too that you draw on your miniature with.
Oh yeah, I've used Micron ink pens for doing like just a little bit of detail in the creases, basically like a wash, but tiny little dotting or line use.
Yeah, I was watching someone not too long ago. They were talking about a guy that paints his miniatures by coloring in with Sharpie markers.
Yeah, these are real fine pointed.
Sharpie has they have a alcohol-based ink, and they do have some enamel-based pens as well. It just seems really tedious to paint a miniature with, well, basically draw or color in a miniature with pens. Hey, if it works.
Paint by numbers minis.
Yeah. What color are you gonna do the yellow?
We'll be using rich gold from Acryl.
Okay.
Silver. And then for the arc reactors, we're going to be using this transparent blue.
Okay.
From the model color. And then a little bit of the muted metal will be plate metal from Army Painter. And then a little bit of white highlighting with dead white. Light tone. Red tone.
Okay.
Paint's doing a really nice job of bringing out all the different joints and creases in the armor, even just on the base coat of it.
Looks like it has pretty good even coverage.
It's definitely flowing really great.
So where did you pick up these colors at?
I ordered just from Amazon the Mecha colors. It's the only place I've never seen them anywhere else around. Pro Acryl directly from them, and then most of the other colors I've already had. Pretty good set of Vallejos. I believe the plate mail army is from your army painter.
Oh, okay.
So thanks. Printer's done. Later. One more shelf for the paint shelves.
For those paint racks.
Yep.
Yeah, I brought over a lot of paint. I didn't realize I brought over so much.
No, it's great. That'll give us everything that we need for mission work and for our own army work, and the terrain we need to do some more work on. Get some tabletop play videos going as well.
Yes, sir.
I'll make sure the triple thread of triple P just to get everything going. Setting up all the studio.
If you guys haven't checked it out yet, we do have an Instagram, and we also have a Twitter, and we have every type of media there is.
We are social media agnostic. We like everybody.
Right? We have Rumbler, we have Getter,
Twitter, Facebook. Make sure you subscribe. Smash that like button.
Oh god, here we go. Smashing that like. Hulk smash it. I saw that they released the Omega Red, which is one of my favorite X-Men villains, and they have a Moon Knight and Blade set.
Moon Knight and Blade?
Yeah.
It's a good Marvel Knights combo.
Yeah, I'm waiting for see if they have a release the werewolf. Yeah.
What's his name? The werewolf guy's name?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I want a Ghost Rider, the bike. When's that coming?
Oh yeah, be like a chaplain looking guy.
Yeah.
Basically.
Literally, you would look like the chaplain.
Yeah. Wonder if you could kit bash one of them.
I bet you could. But I don't know. Whoever sculpts these Marvel Crisis Protocol guys, they're really good sculpts. I kind of would like to see what he do with it, because the skull face from the chaplain biker is more of a mechanical skull.
Yeah, I've seen some of the independent guys do sculpts and resin minis have a take on those that look pretty cool. Could definitely adopt them to a Ghost Rider with a little bit of kit bashing.
Yeah, I would get some of that transparent, like, I forgot what it's called. It's a resin, but it's like really transparent, and and you could basically, maybe it's not resin, maybe it's plastic. I think it's resin. It's like the color of your little guy down here, this dwarf.
Which one? Oh, yeah, that's I forget what they call that. But yeah, it's kind of a translucent material. It's resin, but it's a particular formulation of.
Yeah, they have like an orange one that they tint with red and stuff, and they put the face cut. Well, the skull is put on there, and they blend it in with some paint, so it looks like it's on fire. A red one and a blue one.
On the hand over here. Making sure we get underside, little nooks, crannies around the shoulders.
Definitely looking really good.
Really cool color. I might investigate some more of the Mecha line to see what colors might work for some other models too. Could even see maybe using this red for a little highlighting on some Tyranid. Checking them over, see needs a little bit more red in any areas. Starting to soak in pretty good to the primer.
Paint seems pretty opaque though.
Yeah, it's drying in a pretty opaque look. Got a good texture to it. A little bit needs.
How was the cleanup on the model? Pretty easy.
Yeah, very few mold lines really. These the plastic on it seems really good plastic, and very little work to get the model assembled. It's pretty easy considering some of the horrible older models for a lot of the lines. I would expect them to, for a newer line like this, and especially as a licensed product from Marvel/Disney, have a pretty high quality control for everything from art to production.
Right.
And he looks like Iron Man. I think that looks pretty good for the first coat of red. We'll give him a minute to dry, and then we'll do a little bit of gold base. Still thinking how much time we have. Brush really clean between colors here.
Yeah, we got about 15 minutes left in the hour stream. Are you planning on going over today, or MrNick?
Probably go just for the hour, maybe a little bit longer, depending where we want to stop with this model.
Copy that. When we get enough followers and viewers, I was thinking about doing a 24-hour stream to raise some funds and stuff for our channel.
I'm an old man. I don't know if I can do that.
Well, not
I'm
you.
23 years old anymore. Maybe we could do it in shifts.
Oh yeah, I mean, maybe put together a full box set or something, you know, full box set of Trust Protocol or whatever. Assemble them prior to that, prime them before, and then just sit there and paint. Of course, we'd have to get permission from the lady folk.
I don't ask permission. I only ask for forgiveness, and even that rarely.
Right.
That's one of my rules. Rule number 1: never apologize with flowers. Rule number 2 is the rule of apologies, and that is always apologize unless you're wrong. That's one I strictly go by.
Is that why you just stick to your guns?
That's the rule. You got to follow the rule. Trust me, guys. You want to do it right, always apologize unless you're wrong.
You just walk away.
The rule.
Cool guys don't look at the explosions.
Yep, they're walking with their shades and their guns. Right, so this is Acryl.
Pretty color.
It's a great rich gold. They have a couple of varieties of gold. This is the one that should match the Iron Man gold the best.
What are you thinning it with?
It's got a real nice flow to it, as you can kind of see here on the palette. And I've used their silver quite a bit, and their regular acrylic in purple also. Their dark purple is one of my favorite purples, and I believe that's the purple that's on the Hive Tyrant of our pictures that we have. So I'm going down to the double aught, and let's see, just going to move his face to start with. a great flow for this metallic paint. Not too thin, not too goopy. Doesn't bunch up at all in any of the recesses. Been extremely happy using this metal versus most of the other metals. A little difficult to use, but this is great.
Looks pretty good.
Trying to leave his chin where it's supposed to be. Probably gonna need some touch up. Down to the X10 brush, a couple little plates in gold. And the interior crease on the legs here.
Oh, that white spot on the back, is that for his tattoo?
Yeah, it's his silver tramp stamp. You know Tony Stark's his man slut.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It says pepper on it.
Better.
It's one on the underside of his arm says Mary Jane. Peter Parker said, "What the heck?" I mean, I don't think he'd even be mad if Tony Stark took my lady. He'd be like, I see why.
I don't have a Quinjet.
Yeah. I think the coolest image of Tony Stark I've ever seen is when War of Symbiotes and he got venomized.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy looking. It looks like it's just black and white. It looks like War Machine, but with a bunch of tendrils and a big mouth on him. I really need to reread that series.
I like the classic Venom stories.
Yeah. Originally created by
not the Carnage.
Originally created by my favorite artist, Todd McFarlane. I'm waiting for a Spawn mini. I don't even care how much it costs. I just yell out, "Shut up and take my money." Whatever happened to his movie? He was supposed to do a Spawn reboot, and they get put off, or
I think they've changed who has the rights for them. If I remember.
the New Line that did the first one.
Yeah.
What's your opinions on the first movie?
I can't even remember it, honestly.
I've watched it recently, actually.
Yeah.
It's
How old is it?
93 or 94, I think it was made.
Wow.
Actually, let me check. '97.
97.
Got John Leguizamo in it. Michael Jai White. Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
Yep.
Alive or dead, Martin Sheen?
He's alive. Barely. Look at the bio pictures. I guess it's been kind of been put on the back burner for right now, the movie. He released a comic book series called King Spawn, which set records of 497,000 copies have been ordered on the distributor level.
Wow.
I mean, if you look at it, that series is pretty dang good.
I remember the first issue going like crazy. I remember variants for the Spider-Man series.
Yeah.
For #1 when he first got his own series outside of Amazing. Which he lasted for what, 14 issues before y'all left?
Yeah. That was a bad time for Marvel.
Corporate greed.
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, yeah, with the Image and Top Cow and their comic books, because Marvel thought they were a little too edgy.
Marvel's supposed to be the edgy one.
From what I understand, though, Tom McFarlane and the late Stan Lee, late Stan Lee, they had buried the hatchet.
That's good. I'm gonna finish up this last little bit of gold on his arm. Near our time for today. Thank you for everybody joining us. Our first Marvel Crisis Protocol miniature. Fun to paint. Really like these new colors. New sculpt. And eventually a new game.
Yeah, in January 2019, Tom McFarlane was on a panel, and he gave a 13-minute long tribute to Stan Lee. Crediting him for the creation of the modern age superhero.
That is our first part for painting Iron Man from Atomic Games Marvel Crisis Protocol. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Thank you, Lee, for producing.
Thank you very much for giving the opportunity, good sir.
And we will see you later tonight for more painting of a Chaos Cultist and a Plague Marine?
Either a Plague Marine or a Black Legion Marine.
Great.
Either way, it'll be a Chaos Marine and it'll be a chaotic good time. You guys all have a good day and see you soon.